Good evening everyone. Welcome to Precision Price Action Pro Trader series. Today we're going to learn one more interesting topic called as wrong trend lines. What happens when you mark a wrong trend line? Your wrong trend line will take you in a wrong direction. What does it actually mean? Let's jump in. In the previous videos, you have studied the 3 simple rules to draw an uptrend line and then 3 rules to draw a downtrend line. What are they? You need 2 values. H2 should be greater than H1, L2 should be greater than L1. Ideally, something like this. Something like this. In case of a downtrend line, you need 2 peaks. H2 should be lesser than H1, L2 should be lesser than L1. So what does it mean? Is that correct? Simple? That's what we studied. Now, let us check some scenarios. Value 1 done, H1 formed, value 2 done. Can I draw this trend line? Can I draw this trend line? Yes or no? If yes, why? If no, why? You can't draw this trend line because your L1, alright, your L1 and L2. What is the rule book for an uptrend line? Your L2 should be greater than L1. Here it is lower. Ideally it should be like this for you to draw a trend line. So this is the right way to draw a trend line. This is the wrong way to draw a trend line. Clear? Okay. Let's proceed further. Value 1 done, second value done. Can I draw this trend line? Can I? Any guess? No, you can't. Why you can't? L2 is greater than L1. Agreed. But where is H2? Your H2 is still lower than H1. What does that mean? You wait for H2 to go above H1. Once it breaks H1, then only you will have an opportunity to draw the trend line. Simple? Very simple. Superb. Let us quickly get into the application and come back later. Alright. So look at this. Can I draw this trend line? Trend line 1. Can I draw this trend line? Can I draw this trend line? Can I draw this? Can I draw this? Any guess? First things first. This is a wrong trend line. Why? Guess. 2 peaks are there. Everywhere 2 peaks are there. 2 peaks. 2 peaks. 2 peaks. Everywhere 2 peaks are there. Check H1, H2. H2 should be lower than H1. Is it lower? No. So this is not. Second one. To draw 2 peaks, you need, to draw a downtrend line, To draw an uptrend line, you need two valleys. So two valleys are there, but your valley 2 low should be greater than valley 1 low, which means this L1 and this L2. Your L2 is lower, it should be upper. So this is also a wrong trade. Correct? Check out 3. That is what? An uptrend line. Sorry, a downtrend line. Okay? So what you should do? Your H1 should be greater than H2. What has happened? H2 is greater than that. So that is also a wrong trend line. Is this a good trend line? H1, H2. H2 is lower than H1. L2 is lower than L1. So this is a good trend line. And last but not the least, this one. What do you think? 2 peaks? Good. H2 is lower than H1? Very good. What about L2? L2 is not lower. This is L1. This is L2. So what has price done? Peak 1, peak 2. It has not broken this L. So this is not a good trend line. Chalo, let's pick up some more examples. Same repeatability. Can you draw this trend line? Can I 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 draw this trend line? Let us review one by one. Watch out carefully. Check out what is right, what is wrong. Here, H1 is greater than H2. L1 is greater than L2. So this is a good downtrend line. Look at this. H1 is greater than H2, but what about L2? L2 is not lower than L1. So this is not a good trend line. Check out L3. It's a beautiful example. H1 is greater than H1, H2, L1 is greater than L2. Look at 4. Why it's not a good trend line? Because your L2 is greater. Look at this. Look at this. Is that a good trend line? Item number 5. A beautiful example once again. Think about it. 2 peaks. H1 is greater than H2. Is L1 greater than L2? Since L1 is not greater than L2 or L2 is not lower than L1, this is not a valid trend line. You want some more examples or we are good to go? Okay, we will take up some more examples. Okay, Asian Paints, my favorite topic. Let me draw some more beautiful trend lines for you so that the concept enters into your brain. Okay. This is 1. Okay. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. Now go one by one. 2 peaks. H1 greater than H2. L1 greater than L2. So good example. Second, 2 valleys. H2 is greater than H1, but L2 is not greater than L1. So this is not a good trend line. Third, watch out carefully. 2 valleys. H2 is greater than H1. L2 is greater than L1. So A beautiful example. And look at 4. 2 peaks. H1 is greater than L1. I'm sorry, H1 is greater than H2. L1 is greater than L2. So, this is also a beautiful example. Make sense? Sounds good. Alright. Let's proceed further to the presentation. So, summary of our learnings. You understood the 3 simplest possible rules to draw a trend line. You know the 3 rules for an uptrend line. You know the 3 rules for a downtrend line. If you stick to the rules, there is no way you will mark a wrong trend line. These are universal in nature. These concepts are pure rule based. They are not discretionary. If you understand the rule book properly, you will never go wrong. Okay? So don't mark wrong trend lines going forward. Because a trader, a professional trader, a seasoned trader, this is the foundation or the building blocks of trading. If you can't do this, your foundation is weaker. And finally, never ignore the rules of the game. You know why? We are retail traders. We are fighting with the institutions. The only way to beat them is following the rules. With this, we come to the end of this lovely video on how to avoid wrong trend lines. I'll come back with yet another interesting video on some another interesting topic. Until then, signing off, Ashok Devanampriya. Thank you very much.